It to my. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We are excited to share a little bit more about Symmetry Financial Group with you and how it's changed our lives. Annie is hosting with me, but before we get started, we're going to share a quick little video with you, and then we'll give you a little introduction about who we are.
This is awesome. Man, do y'all love this venue or what? In the last 2 quarters, these are some records that we've broken. APV submit, recruits, leads, new writers, unique writers, resets, IUL submit, annuity submit. Give yourselves a round of applause because that's not normal.
We're not playing in the world of mediocre around here. Possibilitarians. That is what you all are. Dream and see something bigger.
Have boot camps, corporate overviews, small training events that allow yourself to be in front of people, building relationships.
Just get a little outside your comfort zone. I do it every day.
Focus on getting people 15 apps in 12 weeks, and the likelihood of them staying with us a year and beyond increases dramatically.
Don't shortcut it because it works.
Right.
Do it the right way because it's right.
You team leaders, you key leaders, you just got to keep time and pressure rolling.
Be excited about this business. Be excited about what it's doing for your family, for your life.
Big round of applause! Listen, if you're striving to be a perfected leader, then I will tell you perfection only exists in imperfection.
Believe in yourself like we believe in you.
Hey, it's Disperse Quickly.
The fact that we hit our goal of 175,000 today made a difference in a lot of kids' lives. Thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your hearts.
You are worthy to win. You are worthy to win. Show up. Figure it out. The world is freaking waiting. Let's freaking go.
I love it. I love it. Every time I see that video, it makes me so excited and happy. So who are we? You just saw a little taste of who Symmetry Financial Group is. I am Annie Davis. I'm on the right-hand side. If I could say my last name, that'd be great. I was a former teacher, and I did this part-time when I started here. I'm a mom of 3 kiddos, and I found Symmetry Financial Group really because I was looking for additional work, additional income. My family, I worked in network marketing for a while, and that's kind of how my path crossed with Kristen, and went back to teaching after I realized that business opportunity was slowly declining. I decided to go back to teaching, and lo and behold, realized that I was still miserable in teaching. Even though I had landed pretty much like the job of my dreams in my home district, I was still, feeling broke and feeling sad and feeling unmotivated and needed that extra spark in my life. I was watching Kristen. I had always sort of watched her in our previous endeavor together and realized that she was happy and she was excited about a new opportunity. And it was really in something that piqued my interest, but totally outside my wheelhouse. I remember talking to my husband about insurance, and he said, it's definitely what people are talking about. You can definitely make money in the insurance industry. So my conversation with Kristen was very brief, but it was one of like, hey, what are you doing? I want to know a little bit more. No promises really, but I just kind of want to know. Got on a call, and really the rest is history because my mind was sort of made up that I knew I wasn't going to be in teaching forever. So I started this part-time, but really made the leap to do it full-time and have really just been so happy since. So I'll let Kristen tell you a little bit about who she is. Can you hear that? No, you're good. Okay. I told Annie, I said, of course, as soon as we start this virtual overview, they're drilling fencing poles outside my window. So I was like, you can't hear it at all? Okay, perfect. Great. My mic is working. Awesome. Okay. I was super excited that Annie wanted to join me here in the space. She mentioned that we knew each other
Before coming to insurance, I am a school counselor by trade. So professionally, I have my school counseling degree. I got my master's in school counseling and education. And when I started that job, that career with a lot of debt from school, I realized that I wanted to be a mom and have a family and provide for my family, but also be present for my family in the way that my dad was, who was a business owner. And although I saw him work really hard, I saw him be able to provide for our family and in a lot of ways very differently from a lot of friends and, acquaintances that I had growing up. So I knew that that desire was in me, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to achieve that in the school counseling space. And although I loved what I did and what I did was safe and it provided retirement and insurance and all those things I was taught to really, prize growing up, I wanted to step out of the box and do something different. And it was at that point I said yes to the MLM space. And that's where Annie and I met each other and had a decade-long career in that company. And I'm super grateful for it, but also grateful that it kind of started withering away because I wouldn't have pushed myself to go to something different and do the next thing professionally. And that is where I found Symmetry through a Facebook scroll of a former friend or a friend that we, all know from the same MLM, and really loved what she was sharing. Saw that it had a lot of the similarities of things that I loved as far as flexibility and personal and professional growth, the income potential, but it also was a lot of the things that was missing in my MLM career that no one really took seriously. Although I made over $1 million when I was there, it still wasn't anything that, a lot of people didn't say proudly. And so being in insurance and coming to this industry gave me the flexibility and freedom and income potential that I was looking for. But it gave me the professional credibility that I was longing for. And jumped in knowing nothing. And I'm grateful I did. It's been a huge learning curve and very different than what I'm used to, but we both have found our wings here and pushed us to grow personally and professionally. And we'll kind of share about why we love Symmetry as we share with you. And hopefully, if you're here today, whether you're licensed, unlicensed, you're thinking about potentially changing your career, or you're just looking to add another stream of income, hopefully you'll learn why we chose to hang our license here. And why we think our community and culture is so very special, and it really makes Symmetry who we are. So Annie's going to share a little bit about why we picked Symmetry, and then I'll share a little bit about our founders.
One of my favorite things is explaining to people why Symmetry is really the best kept secret in sales. There's a lot of different things that you can do in order to make money and do it part-time, but there is nothing like the opportunity here. Some of the things that I love about it is that, we do work for ourselves. I work in my office on my own time. Nobody's clocking me in and clocking me out, or rather, I'm not clocking in and clocking out for somebody else. But I'm always in a community of people who are like-minded and growth-oriented people, which to me is so huge in the classroom and in my profession. One of the things that I realized was holding me back is the toxicity of the people, and not necessarily them, but just the whole environment, right? So they were not focused necessarily on growth and where they want to be in 10 years because they know where they're going to be in 10 years. We're doing meaningful, impactful work. I had my first death claim this year, which brought this whole thing full circle for me. Not only can I have the time freedom that I talked about, but I can have financial freedom. I know that this is the vehicle that is going to set my family and the generations that follow free of worry of the money noise and the things that, I grew up maybe lacking. So those are some things. I love the culture here. Kristen touched on the culture. You will not find another culture that is as special, or you'd be hard pressed to find a culture as special as what we have here, specifically in our agency. It is I think the foundation for which everything else is built here. And, it allows us to be able to show up as our best selves. So We're in an industry too that is recession resistant. We can't say it's recession proof, but it's darn near recession proof. We've proved that during the times of hardest times for Americans, that this company and industry in general, but this company specifically soared because they were able to pivot to virtual sales. So you can work from your home, but I can serve anybody across the United States as long as I have my license. So some of the reasons why I love Symmetry. Kristen's going to talk next about sort of just what is Symmetry in terms of who are the people that we are partnered with.
Yeah, so I personally think we're very lucky to have landed here first. There are a lot of different companies that you can partner with when it comes to insurance, and if you're familiar with the insurance space, it can be an IMO, a captive agency. There are lots of different places you can land. And for us to both have landed at Symmetry, I feel incredibly blessed. And these 4 people that you see on your screen are our founders. And before, 3 weeks ago, I knew these as incredibly savvy business owners who, I knew they said they had big hearts and they had a vision for what they would offer to the world. But I've really seen that come to fruition the last 3 weeks after the hurricane hit the Asheville area. So our Symmetry office was put in Swannanoa, North Carolina, which is where most of our founders live. They all met each other in a previous IMO and in the insurance world, and knew that they loved the insurance industry and there was a lot to offer, but they wanted to be able to share the wealth that was part of the insurance industry with the agents that were doing the work. And so they decided to start their own IMO, and they planted those corporate offices right in this tiny little town on the Swannanoa River, right outside of Asheville in Western North Carolina. And they're incredible people and incredibly authentic. And just after the hurricane hit, if you're familiar, that area, I just got back from there 30 minutes ago. But it was devastated, and our corporate office, one of them, was completely flooded. But I have never seen people walk out who they said they were better than these 4 have, along with our entire company. But to see that, they are truly what they say they are. They say the worst comes out when people are in the worst of difficult times, or people really show their true colors. And I am just super proud to say that these 4 individuals have really walked that out and have made me even more proud to be part of this company. And so they're smart, they're savvy, yes, and they have a huge vision, but their hearts are bigger than anything. And to me, that speaks volumes. So Annie's going to touch a little bit about the 2 companies that they created, Quility and Symmetry, and kind of how those connect.
Yeah, I was going to say we had a slide of pictures with them. We should probably next time add the pictures too from the work that they have done in their community, because these are fun pictures, right? But just like Kristen said, it's more fun and rewarding to see them walk out their hearts. And
in fact, that picture on the bottom left of us in front of the Symmetry sign, we'll need to put the picture that it is today, because that has been completely flooded up past that sign. And I saw the building today, and it was just, it's pretty crazy, but they're amazing people.
So awesome. So who is Symmetry Financial Group? A lot of the times you're going to see Symmetry Financial Group powered by Quility. The easiest way to put this, and I'm going to keep it really brief, is that Symmetry Financial Group is us. We are the boots. We are the people that are representing the company, but they realized we needed some sort of a tech corporate or a tech collaboration. And so everything that we do is powered by what's called Quility. And so Quility does all of our tech stuff. And then we have Symmetry, which is really us, that we are the boots on the ground. We are the people that are providing the services through the insurance companies to the people.
To the people.
For the people.
To the people. For the people.
For the people.
Our core values. What the founders have kind of wrapped up in this nice little bow. Again, honest, authentic, just really, they're all about personal and professional growth, but more so personal growth. Annie and I both know from previous experience that personal growth, working on you, is what creates that space for success. And so I am not the person that I am today without pushing myself in areas, and the founders know the more that we, work on ourselves, the more impact that we can make, the better business owners, the better agents that we can make. So they really have put together these core values. And I can tell you, again, they're not just something that they paste up on the wall and that look pretty. They walk these out. And if you do not fit into these, or if you start to break away from these, they have no hesitation in calling you out or treating you in the way that any other employee would be, but to say, hey, this is not a example of our core values, and we need you to fix it or correct it, or we're going to have to let you go, or we're going to have to ask that you leave us, because we want people who walk this out, because we do. And I think I respect that hugely. So we have a great foundation, and it really gives us the ability to do what we do, which is a lot, we could probably say. But Annie's going to touch a little bit about the products that we offer and the companies that we partner with, and then I'll touch a little bit about our growth.
Awesome. So we collaborated and kind of put two slides in one. The companies on the bottom right that you see, those are all the companies that we represent. So we are not in sort of like, a pigeonhole where we have one company and we can offer, this product to you. Because we are brokers, and we are, we work for Symmetry Financial Group, but we are paid by the insurance companies, and we can offer insurance to somebody who is a newborn baby all the way till they're in their late 80s. Similarly, we can also offer insurance for someone who is, super, super healthy to very, very sick and old, and so we offer sort of a wide range of protection. You can see we do anything from the life insurance space, mortgage protection, protecting homes, so that if something happens to you and you're unable to make those mortgage payments, we can take that and we can help you get coverage. Term, universal, and whole life, final expense, accidental death, all of those things on the life side, all the way to, anything that we have a health license for. We can help, when it comes to long-term care, or supplementing it with a critical illness policy, a cancer policy, something like that. But we also have an advanced market space that takes care of getting you out of debt faster, setting you up for retirement in a better, more suitable way, getting you growth in your income, or getting you growth in a policy that helps allow the market to help dictate how fast your money is growing. And also just other wide range of protection. So we can do pretty much anything for anybody, is what I like to say. So Kristen's going to talk about the growth that we've seen over the last couple of years, but specifically since we started.
My favorite slide. Just kidding. I don't like numbers. I don't do numbers typically, which sounds weird to be in like a financial related industry, but they don't speak to me as they do others. So we show this for those who love numbers, my husband being one, but this is what we would like to call hockey stick growth, because they started the company in 2009. Obviously you can see they did 307,000, but here we are, 2024. We don't have data for yet. Obviously, we're closing out Q4, but in the last couple of years, we have really had tremendous growth since then. And if you're in the insurance space, if you're licensed and you're familiar, you know that maybe the last year or two since the pandemic, things have been a little bit slow for most insurance companies. But what's different about Symmetry is that instead of letting the pandemic and people not wanting to be face-to-face and in homes slow them down, because that's the way business was done before Annie and I joined, you went door to door, drove state to state, which don't even ask me to sign up for, because I would have never done. Symmetry took everything and said, hey, let's go virtual. Let's figure out how to do this virtually. And that opened the door for them to really capitalize on a shift in the way that business is done. And it's where Quility has come into play with the technology and being able to, give us the tools that we need to do our jobs well. And so the fact that we have maintained that growth the last year or two is phenomenal compared to every other company in our space. And so we're growing, and the insurance product is needed. People know it's important now more than ever before because of the pandemic, and people want what we have, and we're able to help people do that. So one of the reasons why Annie and I joined here is because we didn't have to rely on our network for customers, and she's going to touch a little bit about our leads program.
Everybody has skin, but not everybody wants to buy your product in your network. So one of the perks about what we do is that we have people that literally are asking for our help in getting coverage. So when I came here, yes, I had a network and I had friends and family, but I didn't have to ask them if they wanted me to be their insurance agent. I could be an insurance agent for someone in Texas. So, our investment in our leads program and our leads and how they're generated is just absolutely amazing. So we have leads that come from, when someone's online and they're searching, right? And they want real-time answers for someone who's looking for insurance. But then we also have leads generated from our mortgage protection industry too, where people have taken out a loan at the bank, whether it's a refinance or a home equity line of credit, or they've taken out a new loan for their mortgage and they need protection. They shoot us those leads because Symmetry has invested in our leads. So you can come here with a very little market. You do not have to tell friends and family that they need to buy from you to help support your business. That is one of the absolute best things about what we have, is that we have constant need for people who need insurance. Kristen's going to talk a little bit about our business model and kind of how we can look at it from an employee standpoint, but then we can also look at it from, a business owner standpoint too.
Yep. And like I shared in the beginning, my background, I've been surrounded by business owners, so that really spoke to me. But you can come here in two different categories, and we'll talk about how you get paid in those in just a second. But you can be a producer and just, help policies get sold, or you can build a business. And that's really where we focus, is trying to equip you to be a business owner and, eventually down the road, an investor, be able to expand your wealth, invest in things that are going to make you money and generate money and give you a solid retirement and leave a legacy. Those are the things that we're focused on. We don't want you to just make a lot of money or be able to, pay for your own family expenses. That's great, but we're looking at taking you beyond that. And again, love that about our founders, because we don't treat people like employees, or, we're not your bosses, but everyone is kind of taking ownership for themselves. You're a 1099 employee. The insurance companies are paying our paychecks, which is amazing because they're one of the wealthiest industries in the world. And so we want to empower you to be a business owner and kind of take it beyond that and really take ownership. So being a business owner requires capital, and we get paid very, very well. And so Annie's going to touch on kind of what that structure looks like.
Yeah, something that everyone asks is, how do I get paid? I'm going to come here and how do I get paid? So one of the very first things that I did is I printed this off and I hung it up. It's actually in my office, like right there. You can see it, and Kristen has it right behind her. It's kind of like a must-do on our checklist. This is our promotion guidelines. This is what we live and breathe by, because this is how we not only help ourselves earn more per policy that we're writing, but it's also how we help our agents and how they are able to see themselves promote. I worked in education for 10 years and I had my master's degree and was on my way to become a principal. And I can tell you, I've never made that kind of money as a teacher working their salary or their time frame. So part-time or full-time positions, you can come in here and we start at 80%. Every agent starts at 80%, but you can see the whole way up. You can go up to 130 on a contract level. There's two different blues. The one blue is the owner track. That's the light blue. The other one is the producer track. So if you come in and you're like, I have no interest in building a team, I would first say maybe you're silly and you might want to reconsider, but we support you wherever you are in your process. But the dark blue side is a new agent who's just kind of producing on their own pen and they just kind of want to write policies. Those are the things that they need to do in their months of production. The owner track is on the left-hand side, and we can get more into that. And you can certainly talk to the agent that brought you on to help you to see where you can get to and how you can track yourself to the 130 mark, if that's what you want to do. Kristen,
I was like, full-time Frida or Fran, anybody, I don't care. We're just going to give you kind of two examples. So I'll talk about a full-time agent, and then Annie will show you really quickly part-time. And again, really this all comes down to the hardest question that we get as owners and people hiring is, how fast will it take me to make XYZ? It really depends on how quickly you get through the learning curve, and that depends on how much time you have available to put into this. And so what I can tell you is that you follow the system, you get the resources, and you just are coachable. You will get to that point. Now, if you get there in 3 weeks or 9 weeks, or I don't know, but I can tell you that we have a system in place that will help you get there. And so if you're looking to make this a full-time career, great. You're going to have to kind of put in the hours, 35 to 40. I'm working more than that as an owner. And, full-time Frida is getting 15 to 20 sales a month. Our average sales about 1,200 APV. We have some average sales that are a little bit higher than that now, depending on the lead type that you're working. Full-time agent, she's, getting a 95% commission, and we get 75% of that up front. So we get paid 75% of the commission we earn within days typically of making a sale, which is amazing. There's some that we get the next day. And then the other remaining 25% comes on month 11, 10, 11, and 12. So you get paid at the very end of the contract policy year, the first year. And that's always a nice little surprise deposit too. So full-time Frida, if she's at 95%, let's just say she's done 18,000 in APV for the month. You're going to take 95% of that because that's her commission. So that's a $17,100 earned. Now she's going to get 75% of that up front, which is amazing. You do that by 12 months, and every month maybe a little bit different. You might have better or worse. It's like real estate, just depends. But full-time Frida is doing pretty well at 153 a year. I'll take that for a full-time job, remote, working anywhere that you want. And part-time, Annie.
Part-time Paul, right? This is kind of resonates with me because this is what I looked at whenever I was teaching. Like, okay, I can't do this I can't do this job full time, but I can certainly do it all in part time. So what does that look like? I knew that a part-time job anywhere I was going to get outside of the classroom was probably going to look like 15 to 20 hours a week away from my kids. But luckily here, you don't have to be away from your children or your family to do it. I knew that I probably could do about 6 policies a month, whether that be through our leads or through people that I knew. I'm starting out at a contract level of 80%. So this is why we show you, Frida was at 95 because she's doing this full time, but Paul's coming in here and he's making 80% commission. So he's again making about $1,200 on an average case, and he's getting 75% of that up front. So what does that look like as a part-time income? What can you expect part-time coming in here? So looking at like about $7,200 in sales a month, like Kristen said, month to month can look different, but guys, if you're following the system, you can do this. Like this is not difficult. Making 80% upfront, or 80% commission, excuse me, you're about $5,700, 75% advance, and you do that 12 months in a row, you're looking at about $51,000 in an advanced income. And then on the back end, again, in months 10, 11, and 12, you're getting that rainy day money, which takes you to about $69,000, a little shy of $70,000 doing this part-time, and you can do it at your house, in your office, on your bed. For a long time, I did it messy, and I was doing it at the baseball field. So you can do it anywhere you want, and be making a really nice side income.
Really nice.
Yep.
Really nice. And Annie did. She crushed it after work. It was pretty amazing. So, really the big piece for me, again, being a daughter of a business owner, I really wanted to own something, but I didn't necessarily want to have to create the idea or put up the capital to create the systems. And I know what's involved in all of that, and I didn't have the time or money. And so the fact that I like to maybe say it's a franchise because that resonates with a lot of people, but Symmetry gives you the opportunity to own your own brokerage if you want. For example, there are companies out there, I'm not going to say names, but they are the buildings, the insurance companies down the street. And if you own one of those and you pass away, it goes to the corporate office. It does not go to your family. You don't get to leave that for your family. Symmetry gives you the ability to own your brokerage, hire your agents, and if you pass, it can be left to your family, to anybody with an insurance license. And so that is a legacy maker for both Annie and I. The other piece that's great about ownership, I know the power of residual income. coming from the MLM space. I build an agency. I have Annie as an owner under me. I am making overrides on everything that our agents are writing. And right now, even if a 5 or 10% spread, that's several $1,000s a month for us as a family, because we are helping our agents learn how to put policies in place and helping the insurance companies get policies on their books. So they're getting more money and they're going to reward us for helping them do that. And so ownership gives me the opportunity to own, leave a legacy, but also bring in a large amount of like passive residual income, which just is amazing when you have money showing up in your bank account every day and you don't know where it's coming from. And so that's one of the things that I love that makes Symmetry different. And then Annie's going to touch about our bonuses.
Yep. So we could go into depth about each one of these, but basically, guys, they reward you in so many ways financially. Every month they show, and they're not secretive about what our bonuses look like and what our equity bonus people are making. They show it to us. I mean, I think last month, I don't know, Kristen, it was like, I don't even want to guess what it was. It was like $1 million in bonuses.
It was, that's another good note. We need to change the pictures and show some of those things, but to show our bonuses, because it is mind boggling.
I mean, mind blowing to see the kind of money that goes out in just bonuses. So you can make, you can make a producer bonus in the bottom left-hand corner, just as like writing business on your own pen. You can make a capital bonus for agency owners like Kristen and I are. You can make an equity bonus if you become a partner in the company. So just over and over again, they're showering you with money because you're bringing great business to our carriers that we're linked arms with, that we have linked arms with. You also have awesome travel opportunities. So Kristen's going to chat with you about just that, the perks of that.
Lots of agent. We have so many perks. We're getting hit from all directions. You can get bonuses from Symmetry, the carriers. Again, trips from Symmetry and every carrier has trips. It's amazing. Annie's had the opportunity to go on one, her and her husband, and it's not like they send you and you have to pay for everything. It is, they send you, they fly you, you land, you get a pocket full of cash, and like you are all expenses paid. We're not asking you to do anything but show up. And that's the kind of trip that I want, because I've been part of trips that were not like that, that you won, but then also cost you several $1,000s. So I love that. Again, we're just getting rewarded for doing our job. And they know what we do is sometimes not the easiest. We deal with, really big decisions for family, and sometimes often are on the other end of that, where we have to help a family make a claim that we put into place. And it can be, it's an important job, and they want to reward that. And so perks, bonuses, incentives, all the things. So what are their next steps, Annie, if they, are listening to us today and they've decided, okay, maybe I want to learn more. I have some questions. I'm interested.
Look how happy she is. She's ready to get going. She is
beautiful.
Ready to start. She's a pretty agent. She belongs in our agency. So if you are thinking, okay, like this sounds like something I want to do either part-time or full-time, or I just want to like pick the brain of the person who asked me to watch this video. Like, what the heck am I even watching an insurance video for? The next step is really reach back out to that person, because they're going to be the person that can answer any question that you might have. Kristen and I are certainly welcome to help answer any questions that you might have as well. But they're going to be your best resource to how you get started. We offer a coupon code so you can get started with a course. It's a 10-day course. You get licensed. You'll apply for your license with the state that you're a resident of, and we get you put into our system and plug you in so that you can learn how to do this and do it effectively and start putting money in your pocket, which is what we all want to do.
Yeah, perfect. So again, if you guys have questions, circle back around to the agent that invited you to watch this. And thank you for tuning in. We hope you learned a lot about Symmetry, and look forward to possibly talking to you in the future and answering some questions.
Happy Sunday.